Hey everybody, it's John Rehorst coming to you from the home offices of APC. I'm here with my good friends Mike Paradise and Barton Holmberger, and we're here to talk to you today in the next topic in our Win video series. You know, in our email we mentioned that we were going to tell you who was going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's all I got to say. "50 days up in Green Bay. We don't want to get pulled into a dark alley. It's going to be the Packers. So put your money down now." But the reason that we bring up football is because the analogy is really tight. You know, at the end of the day, when a football coach puts together a play, they painstakingly, especially at a professional level, make sure that each player knows exactly where they need to be on that field in order to attain the success that they're looking to attain. Well, one of the two questions that we often ask prior to going into a dealership and working with their service department is, do you have a written process for your service advisors? All right? Do you have a process that you want them to follow 100% of the time when a customer comes into the dealership, making sure that that customer gets the experience that you've promised them in your ads? The second one is, do we have a written job descriptions for those service advisors? Do we have a job description that tells them exactly what your expectations are of them, so then when they get to the end of the day and they head over to Al's to have a beer, they can say to themselves, heck, I did exactly what I was asked to do. And in most cases we don't. And you know why that's difficult is because these poor folks pretty much have a moving target every day in terms of what's important in the service department. You know, they got to make sure that they're taking care of what the manufacturer wants, what the dealer wants, what the general manager wants, what the service director wants, what the parts director wants, what the service manager wants. You know, at the end of the day, it can be a pretty daunting task. On top of that, they need to put a smile on their face and go out and talk to people that are having major issues with their vehicles very often. So what we want to do is we want to give them the same way that we would want to give a football team the plays that they need to execute in order to make sure that they're doing what the dealer as well as the manufacturer as well as the general manager wants to accomplish. All right? So why is that important? It's important because what it gives us is it gives us predictability. Now, in the past, what we've done is we've charged them with this, but man, especially when it gets busy, it's very difficult for them to keep up. You know, the only technology that we ever provided for them was a DMS and a phone, all right? And getting a hold of customers is not very easy. Then along came email, and now we're talking about texting, all right? Well, the beautiful part about texting is that when a customer, when we reach out to a customer, we know pretty much that we're going to be able to get a hold of them. But when we marry that with process, we know that we're going to have a certain amount of predictability, all right? So since APC and Single Thread have gotten together, we've had some really good success. As a matter of fact, one of our dealers reached out to us last week and told us that they had the best month they've ever had in 46 years of business. Best month ever. And we put process into that store as well as Single Thread. We married the two together, and things are really starting to take off. And the best part is we're starting to have a certain amount of predictability. What does that mean? Let's take a look, for example, of some of the things that we do on the back end. Let's say that we had a store that did 100 oil changes each and every week, all right? And out of those 100 oil changes, we did 100 multi-point inspections. We looked at their vehicle, we looked at every customer's vehicle, we took the time to properly do an MPI on that customer's vehicles. Now, out of those 100 MPIs, we found that, I don't know, let's say 50% or 50 of the customers had something that we needed to talk to them about in terms of making sure that the vehicle is safe and maintained when it goes back out onto the road, all right? Now, we searched a lot and look at a lot of other trainers. You know, the biggest thing that happens at this point is trainers start yelling and screaming at everybody saying, you just got to go do it. You can't deny the customer the opportunity to see this. You got to get out there and talk to them. Well, you know what? If all you've got is a phone and you've got to chase people around in the waiting room, that's not the easiest thing in the world. See, Single Thread is not only a texting system, but it's a communication system. It allows us to do each step in the process, but more importantly, not only does it allow us to do it, it allows us to measure it. You see, Single Thread was put together by car guys, for car guys, in order to take care and make sure that we provide our customers the best experience possible. So out of that 50 opportunities, let's say that we put together, I don't know, 50 professional estimates. Estimates that tell us exactly what needs to be done to the vehicle, exactly what it's going to cost the customer in order to get it done, and exactly how much time it would take. Now, in the past, we would try to call somebody, or what we would do is we would email. Here's the problem. We know that it could be 2-3 hours before we get a hold of the customer on the phone. It may take, and we know that only 14% of the people look and answer emails within an appropriate amount of time. But you know what else we know? That pretty much everybody that's watching this video right now has a smartphone within arm's reach, right? And of the people that get those text messages, they're going to answer them within 3 minutes of receiving that text. So let's say we have those 50 estimates out there. What could that mean in terms of additional repairs? Well, that customer is going to have 4 calls to action at the end of that when they receive that estimate. The first thing that they can do is they can call the dealership back, ask more questions, or they can text them back, ask more questions, or they could be in the middle of a meeting. They could be at their daughter's dance recital. They can look at it and say, yeah, probably need to put new tires on it, and press a button, and immediately the dealership receives a timestamp approval for additional work. All right? Let's say that 60% of the customers decide that that additional work is important. That's an additional 30 jobs where we don't have to take the vehicles down off the lift. We can leave them up on the lift. We can perform whatever action needs to be performed. What's that going to do for the efficiency of your back end? What's that going to do for your growth? What's that going to do for customer trust when we can tell them what's going on with their vehicle, but not only tell them, but we can show them with MPIs, with videos, with pictures. You see, single thread is not a texting tool. It's a tool that allows us to take a process like the process that APC puts together and instill it in a dealership, give the service advisors an opportunity to do things professionally, but also measure and see who's doing it, how often, how well, giving us coaching opportunities and making sure that our customers are receiving the experience that we want them to experience. So, the only question I still have for you is, why haven't you called yet? The number's right down here. Presentations are free. Demonstrations are free. We'd be willing to do anything. We can do it over the phone. We can do it on the internet. Give us a call. Everybody have a great week.